Welcome back to the channel, guys. In today's video, I'm excited to share my recent adventures here in Lumoy City on Pokemon Legends ZA. Fair warning here, there are some story spoilers, so go ahead and click off if you want to avoid that. In today's video, I will be shiny farming all 6 of these legendaries. During the Mega Dimension DLC campaign, Darkrai acquires a new Mega Evolution form, which leads to a bunch of these hyperspace distortions that spawn around the map. God, it's hideous. There are green distortions and red distortions. The green are full of specific wild Pokemon spawns, and the red are full of trainers that want to battle you. These green hyperspace wormholes enable you to find Pokemon that don't traditionally spawn in the overworld of Lumois. This includes some legendary Pokemon as well. However, not all of these legendary Pokemon can be shiny hunted at the time of making this video, unfortunately. In the Hyperspace DLC, we meet this young girl named Ansha. It's a little lady who is capable of making some rather interesting donuts, and ends up playing an integral role in helping us befriend and recruit the formerly rogue Hoopa. By feeding it donuts, comprised of berries, especially those derived from hyperspace dimensions, Hoopa will bless you with different buffs upon entering a hyperspace distortion. Different flavor profiles of the donuts grant you different buffs. And the higher the caloric content of each donut, the longer Hoopa is able to suspend you in this alternate dimension. After quelling enough unstable wormholes, I gained enough reputation to afford a special scan, so I booked it over to the local Bureau of Organized Crime, the Rust Syndicate. Upon earning 25,000 points, you can basically pay this big dude to perform a special scan, which randomly rolls a maximum difficulty 5-star wormhole. If you're lucky, you can get a special orange wormhole, which is guaranteed to contain one of 20 legendary/mythical DLC Pokemon, 5 of which have the chance to be shiny. The first legendary wormhole that I ended up getting was Cobalion, but unfortunately my footage for this got corrupted. But don't worry, I'll make it up later on in the video. Anyways, the Cobalion hunt didn't actually take me too long either. It took just over an hour actually to get the shiny, and I owe this to having the shiny charm. This is obtained by grinding all the way up to level 50 in Mabel's research in base game. The shiny charm in this game is actually cracked. It boosts the shiny rate by quite a bit. It brings the base odds down from 1 in 4096 to 1 in 1024. On top of this, the donut I fed Hoopa gave me shining power level 3 for all types, which manipulates the shiny odds even further to 1 in 585. For EV training, I spec'd into physical attack and speed just to optimize the offensive capacity, as well as kitting him out with an assault vest to bump up that special defense a little bit. Fortunately enough, I only had to burn through 3 more special scans to get to my next legendary spawn, which was Terrakion. This had me thinking I was about to just breeze through this challenge, but then when it came to getting a sparkling powered donut that would actually help me with getting a shiny Terrakion, I hit a wall. After 2 full hours of resetting, I finally managed to get a sparkling power level 3 donut for all types, which was massive. I knew I was about to get Terrakion in no time. So follow along with this path here once you enter the hyperspace portal, and go over to this elevator off on the left side. And you will have the Terrakion spawn right off to your left, as soon as you get off the Holovator. All you need to do is go over to this Holovator on your right, go back and forth as you're seeing me do here. Once you're back across, all you need to do is hit a roll to get him to spawn in there, and you can see the top of his back. Just rinse and repeat until you see him sparkle. Oh shit. We got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Terrakion, you are mine. After this, I made my way to the overworld battle zones, where I could EV train him into a killing machine. This proved to quite literally be a walk in the park, just at night, because I pretty much one-shot everyone anyway. After EV training him, I went into the same stats as I did with Cobalion, physical attack and speed, I decided to give him a hard stone to hold, just to increase the damage of the rock type attacks. And with that, we have 2 of the 3 Swords of Justice Pokemon maxed out and shiny. Several special scans later, I finally landed Latias. This time I was already prepared with a Sparkling Power level 3 donut, so I didn't waste a bunch of time resetting for this one. As you can see, this farming route is fairly dangerous and took me a few attempts to get it down properly. If you aren't familiar with shiny farming in this game, I guess now may be a good time to explain that. You have a 50-meter radius around you in-game that Pokemon can spawn within. Once a shiny Pokemon spawns, it cannot despawn unless it specifically flees from you in a battle. So running back and forth like you're seeing me do on screen is actually the fastest way of resetting this Latias spawn. Oh, we got it. Let's go. Dude, its nature is elite. So for EV training on this Latias, I spec'd into a more tanky build. I went for HP and special defense just to maximize its uptime on the field, and obviously I'm giving it the Latiasite so it can Mega Evolve. Considering how quick and relatively painless the grind had been so far, I was feeling confident that I would be able to complete this quest that I set out on in no time. But boy was I wrong. I proceeded to get hard stuck, gatekept, or whatever you want to call it, by these god-forsaken special scans. Dude, big dude Felipe was straight up giving me the cold shoulder. I grinded these mega boss battle wormholes for a total of 8 hours of gameplay, absolutely bricking each and every special scan, before I was able to get another legendary wormhole to spawn. During this time, I began working on completing the entire Hyperspace Pokédex in-game, as well as fill out the Pokemon Home Living Dex. Finally, once I got my next special scan, it actually turned out to be a Virizion, which I was actually preparing for it to be a Latios. I had a Shining Power level 3 donut ready to roll for that, but turned out to be a Virizion, so I had to go back to the drawing board with Ansha. Luckily, she gave me a Shining Power 2 fighting donut relatively quickly, so I decided to cut my losses and farm it with that. So the Virizion route is very similar to the Latias route in that you're kind of just running suicides back and forth over and over again for a while and just checking its spawn. So what you'll see is you'll go off to the right as soon as you get out of the spawn, you'll circle around the back of this light post, run down the steps and into this alleyway, circle back about at this point, and rinse and repeat. Make sure you're going actually behind the light post each time though, just to get outside of the radius of that Virizion spawn to get it to despawn and respawn once you get back into this area here. Once you're approaching the 900 calorie threshold, make a left turn when you enter this alleyway and climb up this ladder. Follow my path exactly here so that you can drop a hard save right in front of Virizion in case he is shiny. Mind you, this was just an hour into the shiny hunt. I'm just gonna let this play out. I goof up here really badly to the point of where I need to delete this Virizion. That's not good. Oh wait, I just threw my Master Ball. Unfortunately for me, that meant I had to wipe the save data and start the shiny hunt all over again because I don't use my Master Balls. So regretfully, I started from backup. Then finally, 4.5 hours later, I get another one. Alright, can y'all stop looking at me? I can save. Looking back on that, the risk of just jumping in there was insane, but I was also running out of time. I effectively turned a 1-hour shiny hunt into almost a 6-hour long shiny hunt, with that mistake at the beginning of wasting my Master Ball. For EV training once again, with Virizion, I went into physical attack and speed, just like the other two Crown Sword Pokemon up until this point. And for the held item, I went with Leftovers, just to kind of lean more into the lifesteal ability that Virizion gets using Horn Leech. Knowing that I only had one shiny hunt left to perform filled me with youthful passion and determination. So without wasting another second, I immediately jumped back into ripping hyperspace boss fights and breaking special scan after special scan for another 6 straight hours before I landed the final wormhole that I needed to complete the onslaught of donut baking and rogue mega evolution slaying escapade through hyperspace Lumois. Finally. So once you spawn into this Latios hyperspace dimension, just go ahead and follow the exact route that I am showing you here on screen. Pretty much the only thing you need to worry about with this farm is to drop a hard save at this elevator right in front of me here, the base of this building before you go up. This effectively makes this the easiest shiny farm in the game. All you need to do is hit A, see if he's shiny. If he's not, reset your game, rinse and repeat. We got him! Almost closed out. Let's try to get him in the Queek Ball. Bam! I then went on to EV train this Latios. I focused on an offensive build, speccing into special attack and speed, as well as giving him his Latiosite so he can Mega Evolve. With that, I had successfully captured and trained the Eon Duo as well as the Swords of Justice. As I mentioned before, along the way I focused on completing the base game and hyperspace Pokedexes, as well as filling out these 3 challenges here, the Lumois Pokedexes and Pokemon Home. As you can see on the right hand side, they reward you with a shiny Volcanion upon completion. This part actually wasn't too much of a hassle. I did have to contact a random through a Discord server to assist me with a touch trade, but that was about it, and that didn't take very long either. After transferring Milotic to Pokemon Home, that finished all of my challenges, which prompted Grand Oak to hit me with some dialogue. After claiming my rewards, I went ahead and moved the shiny Volcanion over from Pokemon Home onto Legend ZA. Oh, his color wheel is awesome. So at this point, I wasn't really sure what to spec him into in terms of EV training. I was comparing it to my old Volcanion, who I went for a tankier build with, but I kind of wanted to have a different approach with this one. Just like my Swords of Justice, I decided to spec into an offensive build. I went into special attack and speed, just because of the philosophy of they can't hit you back if they're already dead. I mean, you can't deny it, and due to the new battle format of these games, I kind of feel like speed, having high speed is pretty important. Here's the final product, guys. I know he's holding an assault vest in this video, but I actually recommend the charcoal just to increase the damage of that overheat, enabling our boy Volcanion to have a nuke. I decided to make my way over to Quasartico just to get my last reward match in. This was my 25th reward match at this point, and who better to face than Kanari? I also definitely wanted to stress test some of the Pokemon that I had just EV trained. believe it or not, I actually managed to hit a Master Ball as my reward for this 25th match. So basically that defeated the purpose of me ever having to reset for that Verizian. Wow. That about does it for today's video, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.